MAGA is melting down over this Jeffrey Epstein list and its seeming disappearance. Back in February, Pam Bondi said, "We have the list, it's on my desk. We are about to expose these people that harmed children." The MAGA influencers, they got their binders with their stuff. They said, "Look, we're going to talk about this." And now, fast forward to right now, there is no list, and MAGA, they are mad. But this is what Donald Trump posted yesterday. The way he looks like he is melting is hilarious to me because it is kind of symbolic to how MAGA is melting down. This dude looks completely unhealthy and it makes me chuckle. But I just want to let y'all know that he won a golf tournament yesterday at Trump National. He won a golf match or whatever you call it at his own place, and that's just hilarious to me. This next picture that represents MAGA melting down, I'm just going to give you a trigger warning. Please put your drinks to the side and swallow any food. We don't want to get anything stuck in your throat. This is just me being petty and messy, but this dude literally looks like he is melting down. What is up with this nest on his head? He looks worse for the wear, and it's not getting any better. And this is just indicative of the whole MAGA movement. It looks a hot mess because it is. Now let's talk about the infighting within the Trump regime. So we have Steve Bannon, we got Laura Loomer, we got Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. So Dan Bongino and Kash Patel basically got these jobs in the government because they were extra MAGA. Dan Bongino was all about, we need to expose these people. And they all thought that they were about to expose the people on the Jeffrey Epstein list. I'm not doing the HuffPost article. I just wanted y'all to see these pictures because these people look kind of crazy. But Dan Bongino is on the verge of quitting this regime. So let's talk about the latest with Dan Bongino. He weighs resigning from FBI after heated confrontation with Pam Bondi over Epstein files. Dan Bongino is considering leaving his job after a heated confrontation with AG Pam Bondi over his frustration with how the Justice Department has handled the Jeffrey Epstein files, according to a person who has spoken with Bongino and a source familiar with the interactions that Bongino and the FBI Director Kash Patel have had with Bondi. Bongino is out of control furious, the person who has spoken with the Deputy FBI Director said. This destroyed his career. He's threatening to quit and torch Pam unless she's fired. Bongino did not report to work Friday amid speculation about his whereabouts, said a source familiar with the perspectives of the Justice Department leaders, who also believes that Bongino is considering leaving. This came after a confrontation Wednesday at a meeting with Bondi and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, during which Bongino and Patel were asked about a news story suggesting they were dissatisfied with the decision not to release any additional Epstein files, according to the source familiar with the perspectives of Justice Department leaders and an additional source familiar with the meeting. The meeting got pretty heated. Another source who was briefed on the meeting said, Bondi, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, Patel, and Bongino were on the same page on this all along until the criticism started to come in. The source familiar with the Justice Department leader's perspective said Bongino couldn't take it. So the crazy thing is they know the administration, the regime, is in between a rock and a hard place, and I love that for them, because if Bongino goes rogue, y'all already know he has a podcast with a following. He's about to go scorched earth, and I love that for the whole MAGA movement. He knows what's going on behind the scene. He knows these people are on this list, and that's the reason why he's so uncomfortable with this. And I love that. I love that they are conflicted because Trump is on this list. These people know he's on this list. That's the reason why Pam Bondi is hiding it. But the thing is, they're coming for Pam Bondi instead of going for Trump. That's what makes these people cowardly to me. So I've already showed this picture of Trump winning the golf match at his own property. But look at how his clothes, like he's just melting within his clothes. And like I said, this is indicative of the MAGA movement meltdown. I wanted to show y'all some of the comments underneath this post. This person shares an AI image of Jeffrey Epstein holding a sign that says, "Release the files." These two people do not come across as MAGA fans. So Derp State says, amazing how you won a championship at a club that you own. What an amazing coincidence. And then Trumpty Dumpty, look at that profile picture, says, has he ever won anything at a club he doesn't own? Asking for a friend. Now, those two, yes, these two are not delusional people, but these next couple of pictures, these next couple of screenshots, these people are delusional, and I had to put these in here. Mr. Donald J. Trump is the Spider-Man of this world. This is what they're doing with their AI skills. They are making Trump into a superhero. And then this, Blake Mulkey says, eat your heart out, Jasmine Crockett. She likes to go before the press and state that our beloved President Trump is incompetent and not of sound mind. Well, it takes a strong mind to be a good golfer. It takes a strong mind to have the best start to a presidency ever. I didn't see Joe Biden winning a damn thing. That includes the 2020 election. All we saw was him falling off bikes, falling upstairs, sleeping at the beach. What a difference. So yes, y'all needed to see some of these delusional people. Eat your heart out, Jasmine. Heather Ashley shared some screenshots from some MAGA supporters. She says a January 6er gives advice on how to save MAGA after the Epstein debacle. Somehow doing any of the above would keep MAGA from crumbling. So Philip Anderson says the only way for MAGA to survive Epstein, explain to us that you either lied to us from the very beginning, or that it was destroyed and you refuse to arrest the people who did it, or you just don't want to show it to us. What you are doing now is unacceptable. So just explain what's going on. Like, do you really think that they're going to get the truth, Phil? He's lying because he's on the list. Why is this so hard? Get it through your brain. Kay Hutch says MAGA won't crumble because MAGA never cared about justice or the truth. The only way they fall apart is Trump dies and they destroy each other, fighting over who their next false idol will be. So Trump put out a live social post talking about the interview that he was about to go to. And Lisa says, they better talk about the Epstein files. That truth he just put out is not good. Old Bay Mayor says, bullshit on your Epstein tweet. Gates' wife divorced over PDF file stuff he was doing with Epstein. I don't care if you are buddies with Fritos. Justice needs to happen. You rich people are sick in the head if you think this is nothing. I hope you are impeached. Patricia says, I support President Trump and all else he's done, but he is saying all those victims' claims are just made up by prior administrations. Even Bondi said there were thousands of victims. He is profoundly wrong to brush those ruined lives under the rug and tell them and their supporters to pipe down. He did literally, he said, guys, gals, why are you guys still talking about this? And these people are upset about that. This woman says, I am incredibly disappointed. Incredibly disappointed. That's really going to move the needle. American for USA says, it's also cringe to hear Trump double down on Blondie. I support Trump, but it appears like he's not reading the room. I trust he'll play the cards he has as he sees fit. OK Rancher says, at what point do you hold Trump personally accountable? The day that happens is the day you become a true journalist. I support Trump. Much good has been done, but I have no patience with this particular form of childishness or subterfuge. Here's a few more. Gabe says, Trump is wrong. He betrayed us all. He betrayed MAGA. Bucky says, so shut up and move along. That's not going to fly. This will seriously hurt the midterms. People won't vote against his picks. They just won't vote. I am here for this. This is the reason why I will keep on talking and highlighting these people that are mad, because I really hope they get so despondent that they just stay home. It would make me so happy. This MAGA versus MAGA just makes me so happy. Jagman says, what say you, Laura? It's time you take a stand. Trump makes mistakes, and this is a big one. Pointing that out doesn't mean we don't support him. So, they're really trying to get Laura Ingraham to call him out. She won't. Fox is part of the propaganda machine. They will not take a stand against Trump at all, because that will really jack up who they are as a news, and I put that in quotes, organization. Finally, for one more laugh, Spider MAGA.
I do declare I feel as though I have been hoodwinked and bamboozled and my intelligence is being taken for a ride. Colonel President Trump said that he was going to fix this country and I thought that he was the man for the job. But it turns out he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein after he told us he wasn't. I've been waiting for months, years even, to see all the names on the flight record to that dirty little island. You don't suspect that Colonel President Trump is on that list, is he? You don't think that President Trump was on that island? He said he wasn't. Colonel President Trump said that he hated massages. If he hated massages, why would he be on the island? That was the only thing that was going on anyway. So if he was, maybe it was just to get a massage or two. I have seen the pictures of him and Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, I have, from the 90s, at parties in the 90s. They were on Reddit. They're from the fake news. They were doctored. Right. They were fake images. AI. Woke. Dirty woke stuff. Those pictures weren't real. Were they? He couldn't have possibly been friends with him.